Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. That's Diamond Dave Damone. This is the Appleton Oak. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we are taking a look at 2024's Long Legs. This one was recommended by a couple of my friends. Eric Rowan specifically said I should check this one out. So I'm excited to see what I'm in for.
Yeah, I don't get to see a lot of movies in the horror genre, so anytime we do them for the channel, I'm always a little bit excited.
Mr. Eric Rowan better be right about this one. Otherwise, we're going to say to you, sir, run. Let's go!
Bang the gong.
The 70s and 80s felt like such a good era for horror movies because it was pre like cell phones, you know, and like
Yep.
Well, and there's just some eerie about the way some of that stuff was shot.
Yeah.
You know, look at this, the way they're doing this shot.
Yeah.
It's like he just made a house look creepy, and all it was a house in the snow.
Is this even 4x3 or is this just straight up square?
Right now, it's an interesting format.
The rounded off edges. It's got a very retro feel to it. Very retro. Oh, my step.
Oh, no. This is already bad.
Well, maybe she's just getting picked up for school. We don't know.
My stepdad had a station wagon like that. Oh, the old country squire.
Yep.
What?
Run, kid. Run.
What's going on that side of the house there?
I wonder if we were supposed to see something in the woods there. I'm looking at everything.
No, I think it's the POV with them trying to give us
Whoa!
that.
There she is,
How did you get there?
the almost birthday girl. It seems I wore my long legs today. What happens if I...
What are we in for? Okay, here's your T-Rex.
And we're getting the lyrics now.
Yep.
Wild.
Yeah, so
I like that.
Yeah, so Rowan asked me, he's like, hey, did you guys watch Long Legs yet? I'm like, no, I haven't seen it. It's like, oh, you guys got to do it. I'm like, all right.
Recommended by a WWE superstar, Eric Rowan. Yep. Just in case the folks aren't like, well, who's Eric Rowan?
Yeah.
Why it's 6.
Part 1. Interesting.
His letters. Let's see what we got here.
All right,
Act
kids.
1.
This is the part where you get to do the things the grown-ups don't want to do anymore. Knock, knock, have you seen this man? Just like in the movies. Suspect likes to visit a certain kind of neighborhood. Go alert. Careful.
That's a lot of bodies going out door to door.
Yeah. So, guy's got quite the jawline that they were showing us
You're not kidding. That is sharp.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You guys don't think this is her years later now, and we're still trying to find him, right?
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay, so still an old 70s vehicle. Yeah, that truck in the background looks like late 80s, early 90s, mid 80s maybe.
And I don't think that was the style in the 70s either for that architecture. But
yeah, that's a really good point. That's a more of a late 80s, maybe an early 90s building.
It's that one.
What's what one?
3525. He's in there.
Oh,
We should call it in.
call it in.
No. No, because we're not going to call it a hunch on our first day out doing this. But I'll go take a look. All right?
Oh,
Boy, that camera.
yeah.
In there.
FBI! Hi there. Hi, somebody could take a look at that for me.
Oh, my God! I was just about to... Whew. Wow.
did this isn't a dream?
No, this is legit. See you later, Fisk.
I'm not gonna
She
lie,
just
guys.
went in without calling for backup?
I jumped there.
Yeah, it got me too.
Plastic
Whoa, on
everywhere.
I don't like how she's just going up there by herself. That's not the guy.
Special Agent Lee Harker. Can someone tell me what I'm doing here?
State the first word that comes to mind to accompany each image. Are you ready to begin?
Oh, is
the
this like
psych
Yes.
evaluation?
FBI psych eval? Yeah.
Maybe like after you delete something.
Camera, table, legs, tiger.
A number has been generated between 0 and 100 inclusive. What is the number?
69, dude.
I feel like we're in season 8 of Fear the Walking Dead.
0.
I'm wondering if she had to go through that with her partner getting taken out.
You a baseball fan, Harker?
No, sir.
I need to talk to someone about my beautiful Mariners. You beat that numbers generator 8 times. How'd you do
Oh.
that?
Nice.
I also missed it 8 times.
Half psychic is better than not psychic at all, I'd say.
Oh,
Okay,
they're
that's
testing
what
her
we're
whether
doing.
she's psychic.
Family of 4 lived in that house for 12 years. And then, 2 months ago, they all get murdered inside.
4 victims, but technically 3 murders and a suicide.
Stabbed his wife 61 times before the blade snapped off the handle.
Jeez.
What about the kids?
You can read about it in the file.
You said 4 were murdered. I don't understand.
Neither do we.
A letter was left with the bodies, written in a coded alphabet. You have 10 letters like it. Made by the same hand. 10 houses, 10 families, over the past 30 years.
Oh.
Look at this.
Long legs. Someone or something is making the fathers do it.
I'm telling you, she's not ready for this.
You got a better idea, Browning, then you can run with it. There you go, Harker. Take a nice long look.
Okay, so it's after 92.
Yep. There's a bill there.
Tell me your version of what happened in Colfax with the shooting of Agent Fisk. You identified the suspect's house. No prior knowledge, no real indication that it was any way different than all the cookie cutters all around it. Maybe we'll just call you highly intuitive.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what you see.
What do the families have in common?
All the victim families have daughters whose birthdays are on the 14th of any given month. Only the Horns
That's different.
were actually murdered on that date. Get to work.
Figure that board would be bigger. Or maybe that's just more recent.
911, what's your emergency?
It's not my daughter.
Sir, who's not your daughter?
I gotta be quiet.
Sir, where are you?
Oh.
When she's sleeping, it's the best time to do it.
Do what? Sir? 911, what is your emergency?
No,
This is disturbing as all
Yeah.
shit. That
Harker,
was interesting.
you know, there's such a thing as looking too long. You thirsty? Come on, let's go for a drink.
I don't drink.
You don't drink, you're right. I'll drink. While you tell me things. Go ahead, Harker.
Well, there's no signs of forced entry. There's no indication he was ever in the house at all. And they've all been killed with something from inside the house. 2 times a shotgun, both legally registered to the father. 8 times a knife from the family's kitchen. Once a hammer from the family's toolbox.
Jesus.
Almost like he was never there at all.
He murders them, but not in person.
Maybe he tells the families what he wants them to do, then they do it.
You think Longlegs has help?
Wasn't that what he's doing with the dads?
I mean, it's not totally unbelievable.
No.
Some kind of cult where the dads think if they take out their family.
Bedtime.
I'll drive.
I'm trying to watch all of her mannerisms and body language. And,
There's so much to watch in here already.
yeah.
Get to come meet my wife and kid.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
We need to meet some more characters anyway.
Yeah.
Alive ones.
Well,
Hey, there she is.
he's a dad with a wife and a kid. That makes me nervous.
Hello.
Oh, hey, this is Agent Lee Harker. Harker?
Nice to meet you, Harker. Hi, honey.
Hey, babe.
I'm glad.
Is she a little socially awkward?
Do you want to see my room?
But that's why I was trying to watch her presence in that bar.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like she's better in her own element. I don't want to say better. More comfortable in her own element.
Its head got cut off, and I don't know where it is.
Guess that's more my job.
Oh, jeez.
What about that thing? Do you go in it?
It's too babyish. Dad says he wants to keep some of my old stuff around, so I don't grow up too fast. But I'm gonna grow up anyway. Even veals grow a little. and they live in a box with their legs all tied up and everything.
What?
Feels have it pretty tough, don't they?
Where are we going with this conversation?
Did you want to be an FBI agent when you were a little girl?
No. I actually wanted to be an actress.
Is it scary being a lady FBI agent?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I'm waiting for her to say something off the cuff.
Can you come to my birthday party?
Sounds great to me. Why don't you ask her?
I'll be there.
I hate to say, do you guys get in the vibe that she's somewhere on the spectrum a little bit?
Well, that or being a psychic has an effect.
I was
on
thinking
it too.
because of her abilities, I think that's more what they're leaning into. But you could be more right. I'm not sure.
I just feel like we're not having normal social interactions.
The old digital dash on that car, I had one like that. It never worked.
It's that house.
It's that house, isn't it? Doing a good job at making every shot seem creepy.
Yeah, or that it means something. You know, like we're supposed to be seeing something.
Or just making you think. Yeah. And whatever you're gonna think, they're making you think.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello?
Hi, Mom. What are you doing in the house? Do you have to let the phone ring so long?
Trying to go through some stuff over here. Are you okay?
I just can't sleep. A lot on my mind. Work stuff.
Want to tell me about it?
No.
Don't forget, I was a nurse for 8 years.
Does she keep everything in?
I think I just need to be quiet for a little bit.
Somebody's birthday coming up.
There's that voices again. We heard it say long legs when they were doing the decoding. I thought maybe it was just me.
Mom, I gotta go. I'll call you back, okay?
Jesus, man.
I didn't know how to jump scare, but it got my heart.
My heart, yeah.
Hello?
No ring cameras. You can't look and see who's on your porch.
What if this is all in her head? And there's nothing really going on. You know what I mean? But we're just getting her point of view.
Oh, there we go. We can see that, folks. We saw it.
See that. I don't think we would have on the old TV.
No.
And
in the house.
Look at that.
Well, remember what they said about long legs? He's always inside the house, but there's no sign of forced entry.
Got every corner you turn around by yourself trying to clear rooms.
You leave a note?
Yep.
Do not.
January 14th. It was always the 14th.
All of your things.
It's a pretty aggressive letter opener. Was she 9 years old? Oh, it's that fresh. They're showing that view of the kitchen for a reason.
We can hear the creaking.
Is that necessary?
Six.
Hello, what is available to take your call?
Lee? Are you there?
Whoa. Wow.
What kind of message is that?
Yes, Mom, I'm fine. Yeah, I'll be right in.
Was that from her or was she actually decoding?
I think she's doing the decoding.
I know, stupid question, but it's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh boy.
Oh God, everybody's got
Him again. Looks like the family's planning a trip. No one bothered to check in on them.
And the girl's birthday was the 14th?
Seems like it.
Oh, she already cracked the code?
How'd you figure that out?
I only looked long enough, sir.
Good answer.
There's a dead family in the master bedroom, so let's go take a long look at
Oh,
that.
are they going to show us?
We found Dad in the garage, wrist and throat, kitchen knife in his hand. His wounds look self-inflicted, but we'll be sure when we're sure.
How long ago?
I'd say about a month.
Oh,
Jesus.
Are you sure she?
Yeah, she's good. Are you good? Aren't you, Harker? Hold it.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh.
How old's the girl?
I'm guessing 9 or 10.
9. That was on the card.
How would the cat have survived in the kennel?
For a month.
Yes, who is it?
Hi, Mom. Anyways, I was calling to let you know that I'm going to be busy now. It's really good. They put me on something important.
Will I see you on your birthday next week?
I'll try.
Are you still saying your prayers?
Yeah, listen, I gotta go.
Our prayers protect us from the devil.
The old microfiche machines. Remember those back in the day? 16th.
Man, I keep thinking that something's in her head.
Green desk lamps, Oak.
9 circles of hell.
Every movie's got the green desk lamps. Even animated.
Oh, there's the drawing.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Something faded.
Yep. Gosh, think of everything we would have missed.
It's an algorithm. His algorithm. The first murder happens on July 14th, 1966. The rest occur within 6 days of the daughters' birthdays, either before or after, creating an inverted triangle. The one thing that stood out was the repeated reference to the fine time we had at the Camera family farm, where X's marked the spot. Carrie Ann's father in the axe from the tool shed killed the priest, his wife, and then himself. Carrie Ann's at school, so she survives.
Oh.
March 8th,
Now look at Carrie Ann's birthday.
March 14th.
I believe Longlegs was at the Camera family farm.
What about the 13th? It's missing.
I'm still not sure about that. But it's 3 days from now. Maybe Longlegs will kill again.
She's still alive?
Water Rock Psychiatric Hospital.
Oh.
Let's start there.
Okay, so maybe that was Carrie Ann in the beginning, not her. I don't know. I'm not going to dwell on it too much.
Horror movies, it's always interesting. The horror genre, just darken it a little bit. Some old house, and it magically looks creepy. Oh, boy. The sound design on that. It's great.
Oh, look at the draft coming through.
Well, there's a storm.
Yeah, I suppose.
Another thing about 70s and 80s horror movies, the flashlights were always very unreliable.
Oh, they sucked.
And it's sitting there hitting it on the side.
Yep.
You don't have that anymore with LED flashlights, do you?
Oh.
Did you see something?
I thought maybe that was just a spider web, but I looked like a figure moving to the right.
Now you guys are trying to see.
Now I'm trying to see
We got this
stuff.
fancy new monitor trying to see stuff that's not there.
Over there, past them trees. Another X.
Another X.
Carter?
Let's explore upstairs. We're so all creaky.
Look at that, the light coming through from outside.
Is that supposed to represent some kind of
Eyes, maybe?
eyes, ray of light for hope?
Not in this movie.
There's a cross, isn't it? Yep. Another note. Oh, jeez. Did she crack it with this? Yep.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Well, mannequin.
I'm waiting for it. The eyes are going to open.
Run.
Ah!
Oh, I knew it.
She's handmade, that's for sure. The hair is human, what's left of it.
Oh.
What about the ball there?
It was inside the head. It's hollow, empty of object or matter. But listen.
I was gonna say, isn't that some kind of
snakes? Some mask in the left there.
Nice to meet you, Carrie Ann. I know you're not afraid of a little bit of dark because you are the dark.
I am the dark. Bane. I love how they're only giving you like a second of his face.
Yep.
Well, that was you see that light up?
Yeah.
The other night, I could have sworn it was whispering my ex-wife's name over and over again. Of course, it wasn't.
Can the brain be opened up?
Of course.
Well, let's go see Carrie Ann Cameron at the mental hospital.
Should we remember that? Because he said it was saying the wife's name.
Yeah. I wonder if it
Doesn't
affects
have kids,
everybody
does he?
who listens to it.
Still in his bathrobe. What does that say?
Something on the register?
Yeah,
Like
something with little girl.
Yeah.
Can I help you with anything else today?
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
I don't know what that was supposed to be.
What day is your birthday, little angel?
Oh my goodness.
Daddy! That gross guy is back again.
Was Daddy not there? She was trying to fake him out.
Daddy! Mommy! Make me!
The f are we watching?
Yesterday, she gets a visitor, and I've never seen that happen either. And like someone flipped a switch on the back of her head, and all of a sudden, she's right there.
You saw this visitor?
I wasn't on site at the time, unfortunately.
Huh.
Lee Harker.
Using her name.
Does the guard check IDs?
Well, it does sound like a good idea, but no.
I've seen you before.
I don't think so.
You've been to my house. Or someone looks lots like you anyway.
Do you remember anything? Do you remember coming here? Do you remember your parents?
They didn't know what to do with themselves.
Oh, she's coming home from school.
Look
I
at
mean-
that.
Mom always hated me because I'd come out wrongly when I was born.
Oh.
What? Is this the mom?
Yeah, it's had a scar on her stomach. Ah!
What the What?
Oh!
the-
Oh, it's a doll. It's the doll that she's stabbing.
Papa was a good man. That's something I remember good.
Took out all the cows?
That's why he done it.
Oh!
Oh my God.
Ah!
You had a visitor yesterday.
Gosh, I don't ever want to forget him. I was just waiting on him to come and get me. To come and tells me something's to do for him. Or if he told me to kill you right here in this room with my bare hand, I'd surely do.
It's just
happy
relax.
as peaches to watch your heavy heart go pop pop and your eyes is to go all to blood.
All right then. It's not creepy.
Nope. Not at all.
Do you remember having a doll?
Nope. And you don't remember it either. You dirty, flirty old angel bitch.
Was that a piece of the puzzle we should really pay attention to?
Or something that from her past that she couldn't know, maybe. Of course, it's a basement.
Mm-hmm. And the light, did you see that?
Yeah, seen the legs too.
All right, so he murders a family in 75. Then comes back almost 20 years later to visit the only survivor, and then leaves his only surviving victim feeling much, much better than before he got there.
She came out of her catatonia the same day we found the doll.
Yeah, that could be anything but a coincidence. We opened the ball in the doll's head, and there's nothing inside.
In some cultures, dolls are used in magic.
Longlegs is just a man, Harker, not a witch doctor.
Well, every possibility on the table.
Never seen Papa Shango.
How does Longlegs know your name, Harker? You know, last week this investigation is ice cold. Then you come on to it, and all of a sudden it's flowing.
What are you trying to say, sir?
What aren't you telling me?
Well, I got a note in my house.
I revisited your file. When was the last time you talked to your mother?
What does that have to do with the case?
She called on a police report. January 13th, 1974. That's one day before your 9th birthday, the 14th. Gave a description of a trespasser.
Okay. It was her. All right.
Do you remember someone at your house that might have looked that way?
I don't know, sir.
You go see your mother and tell me what she says about the person who came to your house when you were a kid. Understood?
Yes, sir.
I still don't know if Longlegs is like fully real.
Well, somebody's taken out the families, and it's obviously not Harker. She's not there.
I have zero idea what's going on. Like I'm not even attempting to put together any sort of hypothesis. It's so messed up. Other than, of course, 80s cult type stuff. You know.
Oh, there's Mom.
Well, if he's doing all this
from outside the house,
it has to be some kind of witchcraft, magic.
Do you still say your prayers?
I never said my prayers, never once. They scared me.
Mom hoarding stuff in back there? Is that what we're...
No, our prayers don't help us.
Let me make you something to eat.
I feel like we've seen her somewhere.
Yeah.
Just stuff everywhere.
That's a hoarder house for sure.
Medications?
Yeah. Insulin, maybe? Oh, the sound design is so good on this.
Ugh.
I got Deborah to cover my shift tomorrow. It's somebody's birthday.
Like how when they go into the past, it's the square shot.
Oh, what is this?
Oh.
Oh, come on. You want to go in there? Go in there.
What a day that was. I bled.
Do you remember my 9th birthday?
I don't remember anything, do you?
What happened that day? You called the police. About a trespasser.
No one ever came to visit us. This is a cruel world, especially for the little things. I might have forgotten everything I possibly could for both of our sakes, but I never threw anything away.
Oh, what does she got?
We've just seen that.
Oh, man.
So the whole house is a mess, but her room is exactly as she left it. You notice she isn't piling all the stuff up in the room.
Nothing in there.
Mm-hmm. Look at this.
So a lot of Polaroids.
Wonder if Longlegs is
Ugh.
that doll?
Oh, that was a good one.
Has to be some kind of magic.
It's got to be. Oh, she took a picture of him.
Who are you and why are you talking to my kid?
Let me in now, and it can be nice. I have to come back many times as
This is something else.
What is going on?
Harker, did you go see your mother?
I found it in a box of photos at my house.
You really don't remember this guy? You sure you want to start a manhunt with this?
I'm sure.
Ride the lightning. Okay, so there's that. The doll.
Yep.
And see his notebook.
Yep. With all the codes. Oh, I think catching him's only the beginning.
Oh, it's in square.
State your name for the camera.
Dale Ferdinand Cobble, Alicia Lee.
Oh.
A friend of a friend of a friend. Happy birthday, Lee Harker.
It goes on like that for a while.
For how long?
24 minutes.
Is that one of the dates?
I don't think that one was.
So far, there's no physical evidence that Cobble has ever killed anyone. I'm more concerned about the fact that he knows who you are, Agent Harker.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, and on his horns he wore 10 crowns.
Book of Revelations, isn't it?
Revelation. There's no S, it's singular.
Singular.
Longlegs isn't alone. He has to have someone helping him. It has to be someone that the families felt comfortable letting into their house. The triangle isn't complete. We're still missing the 13th.
The 13th is today, Agent Harker.
We can expect his accomplice to kill at least one more family.
I'm a friend of a friend that lives downstairs. You can even call him Mr. Downstairs.
This is wild.
Jeez. What kind of dialogue is going to be cooked up here?
There she is. Oh.
Sounds like Paul Bearer.
The day you decided to go into law enforcement, we had such a big laugh about it.
Who's we?
Although it was only me who laughed, not she.
Who is she that you're talking about?
The seventh she, to be given the same choice that they've all been given. Crimson or clover. Accept the gift and destroy it. And destroy yourself. Or keep it. And bow down. I am done.
Just like that, though?
But
I won't only be in here.
Who is the man downstairs?
Why don't you ask your mommy?
Oh.
My mother doesn't know anything.
Is that why she is the way she is now? Because there's two different times.
Yeah. Oh! Oh! Oh, that's a lot. Oh! You know, there was no mention of Lee's dad anywhere in the picture.
Carrie Ann Cameron jumped off the roof at Water Rock.
Just like she said she would.
Yeah, but he did it alone with no accomplices. No black magic, no voodoo, no, nothing.
Still confused, Oak?
No clue what's going on.
I should go in alone.
I think she's done
All right.
because,
yeah.
I mean, it's quite convenient that she, at the same time with Longlegs.
Mm-hmm. I think Longlegs
Carrie
is her
Ann.
dad.
Well, when Mom came out, it was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Who's your friend?
He was gone for a while or something. Who knows? It was just weird that he had the connection with Mom.
You're going with he's the dad?
That's what I'm gonna go with.
Door's open.
Yep, not good.
Dude, she's.
Oh, that
door's
room.
Why would? Oh, that is an axe.
Oh, she has the car.
Yep.
Mom?
Oh, I thought that was an axe.
Enough.
Jeez.
Oh.
Oh,
It's the doll of her when she was 9.
You got him. Now he's free. Cobble's dead. It's okay, Mom.
And you're free too, baby girl.
Oh.
Did you see that black smoke?
Yeah.
Is that like a spirit leaving her?
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Lee. One day, a man did come.
Dropping off an early birthday gift.
It was the doll.
The doll maker started his work, his terrible magic, with a little bit of him in everyone.
What kind of bedtime story is this?
The doll made the little girl forget. The devil wanted the little girl for his own.
Oh, he's
Her
here.
mother
shadow in the
Shadow.
background,
happen. Her mother begged for the little girl's life to be spared. She would have to help him. She had once been a nurse.
It's in her basement.
Yep.
Knock, knock, knock.
The mom was the accomplice.
Yep. Somebody they would trust.
From his hiding place within the dolls,
See the dad?
devil
Yep.
did the rest. All her mother had to do was watch.
Eric Rowan deserves a chop. Rowan was ribbing us, dude. She's downstairs.
I'm guessing she's locked down there. Or not.
I guess it's him. Long legs. So that's where the door led to.
Yep. Down to that basement. There's the static.
Yep.
Oh, I knew it. I was worried about them.
It's in her now. I assume she's going to stop her mom. That has to be it, right?
Gotta be it.
There's the car.
There's the car.
Deed's already done. 'Cause remember, she has to stay to watch.
Yep.
Hey, Harker, you made it.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, of course, everything's great. Miss Ruby just started opening a
Oh,
present.
no.
No!
No.
I don't think this has a happy ending, fellas.
No, not the way he
Did you
shut that
see
door.
what was in the reflection? Was that the cameraman or was that the devil?
I think it's supposed to be the devil.
She's the accomplice. She's Cobble's accomplice.
Oh, that's the voice inside him.
Yep. She's gonna have to take out Carter. Is that the only way to break the spell?
Or maybe the doll.
The woman is already dead, and the little girl will be next.
Would you like to join me in the kitchen, honey?
No.
No.
I'm doing this for you.
Shoot the doll.
Yeah.
So that the little girl named Lee would be allowed to grow up.
Oh, it's happening.
Oh my God.
Carter, stop.
Gotta get mom.
Move away from the girl.
Mom, please.
Don't come in.
Whoa.
Oh, pop mom too.
Yeah. See that knife she had?
Please destroy this doll.
Oh, it's empty. Is it coming for Lee now? Oh, seats.
Recommended by our good pal, WWE superstar, Eric Rowan.
Opinions vary. No, this was, for whatever you want to think about the finish or the movie, I was sucked into this thing in like the first 10 minutes. Like I was all in. It definitely had Silence of the Lambs vibes to me. I don't know if you've seen that or not, Dave.
It's been forever, but
Okay, but you have seen
I
it.
got a little Silence of the Lambs vibes.
And obviously, it's not Jodie Foster as the FBI agent. We have a new actress kind of in the spot playing the role of an up-and-coming FBI agent. By the way, Diamond Dave's going to bring up the names here because the actress did a phenomenal job, and everybody did a good job, a great job acting-wise in here.
She's I think Alicia Witt. Was she on The Walking Dead?
Oh, yeah, it was. She was the one
With
who
Carol
was
and
in with
Maggie.
Carol. That's where I recognized her voice. Okay, it wasn't Ashley from The Boys, but somebody else who we've seen with a very distinct voice. But everybody did a really good job in this acting-wise. Look, it's wild, it's bizarre, it's crazy. You had Nicolas Cage, completely unrecognizable, just delivering. This was wild. I mean, it had us guessing the whole time. Osgood Perkins was the writer and director, so huge shout out to him. I caught that early on. The way everything was filmed in this, I really liked it. And again, I don't know if it's the TV or the cameras they used in this, but everything was crystal clear. I love the shots where they were following people. They kind of doing the continuous shots with that. And it was, again, it was in the vein of Silence of the Lambs, kind of something to keep you guessing. You're wondering what's going on. The thing that I struggled with in this movie was, do I make the jump to the supernatural as the reason, or is it just a person doing these terrible things? And that was where I didn't know when I should take that jump and to be like, all right, it's supernatural. We got the devil involved, so that's what we're gonna go with. But yeah, this was wild. They took the crazy twist on it. I'm glad we were able to see a bunch of the figures and shadows that popped up. Yeah, so for me, I was all in on this one from start to finish. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was completely crazy and bizarre, but sometimes those movies kind of work in that way, I suppose. I mean, look, it's a horror genre. You kind of knew what you were getting when you were coming into this sort of thing, that it was going to be something bizarre. I don't recall much of the trailer, but yeah, the seeing Harker's story kind of go through here, and you're trying to figure out everything with her. And even with her, you're like, does she have some level of supernatural ability? Is she psychic? How is that going to play out? So it was, for me, it was bizarre. And well, for all the obvious reasons, it was bizarre. But for me, like I said, I just didn't know when I should take that jump into the world of the supernatural. But an amazing twist. The shots were great. The sound was fantastic. The music was great. A little bit of, if you're a big T-Rex fan, you definitely got your fill in this one. So yeah, this was wild. I can say I enjoyed it. This was something else. Unreal.
I think it had the right parts or components to be a good film, but I just don't think it was. The cinematography was great, I'll say that. I loved that they did the old aspect ratio, even with the rounded off corners, which we haven't seen before, or I don't recall seeing before. I liked the way they've made it feel like a gritty 70s, 80s, 90s film. I thought that was good. Camera angles, the way they shot a lot of stuff was good. The plot overall, somebody using another person / using, some sort of, kind of satanic, hold on people to kill their families. I mean, it's unique-ish, but it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't flow that well for me. Like, I'll agree with you. Like, it had me in the beginning, like, okay, this is curious. What's going on? What are we going to get from it? And that's kind of like with Silence of the Lambs. They give you, like, the beginning, what's going on with this? And then as it develops, it becomes a classic. As this developed, it just felt a little bit fumbled, a little bit muddy. It's weird now looking back. I grew up in the 80s, and I remember, like, there was parents legitimately concerned about rock and roll music being, like, about devil worship.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons
and
too.
Like cults and devil. And now it's like you look at stuff like that and it seems so like wildly outrageous that parents, our kids are worshiping the devil. And it's like,
listen to those Kiss albums.
No, Kiss just some dudes with face paint singing about adult activity, But so the devil worship stuff, it fits the 70s and 80s genre. So like that works for me for that. But just overall, it was a miss. Nicolas Cage's makeup I didn't love. It's like, okay, is he painting? He's just supposed to be somebody super white or painting his face, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was maybe all a part of it, like because that's the vibe I got.
Yeah.
He was trying to dress up like that, a little bit of Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, like maybe he's, maybe he was into doll making, so maybe he painted his face like really white to be almost like a porcelain doll. I thought the plot, like everything wrapping around one girl and the birthdays and coming back to her and stuff like that was interesting. The mom, But like, you know, you have 13 murders and every one the mom shows up with a giant doll, like, and people just like all the families just let the lady in with a giant package from the church.
Somebody they trust.
Like, hey, you've won a thing from the church. Like we didn't enter anything from the church.
There you go, injecting reality into a horror movie.
I know,
said you've got to take the ride.
I know, but the thing is it's like you still have it's still like an FBI investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you know, what would make these families, you know, do all this? And that was interesting to me. And even the opening scene where she just like has this premonition that the person they're looking for is in this house. It's like, okay, but how did they tie that into anything else throughout the course of the film? So they gave us like, okay, she's a little bit psychic.
Well, that's what they discovered.
Right. So she's a little bit psychic, but then she was able to figure out the ciphers really fast, which was like its own thing. The character lacked any sort of emotion. You know, I don't know if it's going to if it made the cut, but I had mentioned that like in the beginning, her lack of eye contact, her lack of interaction with the daughter. I'm like, okay, is she supposed to be somewhere on the spectrum? Because that's one thing that we've seen portrayed in other films in TV is sometimes people who are, you know, somewhere on the spectrum, you know, autism, Asperger's, you know, I'm not qualified to, you know, talk about, you know, the major differences and stuff like that, but sometimes they have incredible other abilities, whether it be memory, their ability to process information. I mean, we've seen musicals, so I was wondering if it was going to kind of be like that route, like, okay, she's somewhere on the spectrum, but her ability to look at things and process is just like next level, right? And that's why she's with the FBI. And they didn't really go down that route. So again, a lot of like components where it's like, if they took this and ran with this story and this part and ran with this and this and ran with that, then it may have turned out being a good film. But it just was a miss for me, gentlemen.
Yep. This film didn't work for me.
It didn't work for me, brother.
But I hope it worked for you. I don't know. I'm starting to learn on this journey here that maybe slow burns aren't for me, because this was a
slow burn horror.
This was a slow burn. I mean, don't get me wrong. In this slow burn journey, there were some moments where it captured me. I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna run and we're gonna get deep here, and then it just art shot. Look at the cinematography that we're giving you here. So I like some of this. I question, like, were they trying to be art? Like, to me, it felt like they couldn't tell if they were trying to be artsy or if they were trying to be horror, suspense horror, or, you know, that's just the way they wanted to shoot it, was like, hey, we want to make you think in each shot that we're shooting here of like
there's something.
getting your anticipation built up. That's kind of like the components that I was working with in my brain of like trying to figure out what are they trying to do here. Again, with the slow burn, I know that works for some folks. I'm starting to learn through our journey here that maybe it's not always for me, but I'm always willing to give it a shot. And then at the end, that way I can form my opinion. Be like, yep, didn't work for me. I thought the actors did great. I thought the cinematography was great. It was good to see Alicia Witt, Walking Dead alumni, Blair Underwood, Nick Cage. I mean, I guess if there was, I guess I was expecting more from Nick Cage's performance, because I feel like there was so much potential. Long legs.
I mean, for me, it felt like spot on Nick Cage. Like that was. Maybe I had a hard time with that too, because when they're in an interrogation room, I'm like, they're just like the beast, you know. I'm like, I have a hard time. Like they almost would have been better off just not telling people that was Nicolas Cage.
Well, see, I think that's why they kept
it. So
I think that's why they kept his appearances to a minimum, because if they did, like, they didn't show his face, you know, his top half of his face for the first half of the movie, or it maybe even more.
Well, it was quick. You get a boom, like a second flash
I
of
think
space.
that was done purposely. So
I know,
so you don't think, it's just.
But when they're building it up and they're in
curiosity.
But when they're in the interrogation room, you're like, I can't even take this seriously.
Right.
It didn't turn out to be the creepy, like, spooky interrogation that I expected, because I just look at it. I don't care what anybody says. I love Nicolas Cage, right? I really do. Look, national treasure. Raising Arizona. I love Nicolas Cage, and I just have a hard time, like, in this role, being like, sometimes he's such an interesting actor, and that sometimes they cast him in roles where it's like, nope, not you, doesn't work. And then they have him in stuff like Con Air, where it's like, some of y'all might not want to hear this, but Con Air's one of the greatest films of all time.
That accent didn't work.
Con Air, well, I'm gonna save the fucking day. I still get chills. But yeah, I feel like maybe it would have hit harder. And look, that doesn't change the plot. It doesn't change a lot of the stuff they did. But for me, at least, I just love you, Nicolas Cage. But I'm just like, all I saw was Nick Cage in makeup in that interrogation scene.
I still think it had a lot. I feel like this movie had a lot of potential because
right.
Sometimes I feel like, in my opinion, if you're gonna pick like a voodoo spiritual kind of thing here, I feel like, and again, in my opinion, I know not everyone's gonna agree with this, because we said that slow burns work for some. Slow burns for me don't work too well. But like, I feel like they could have had some gasoline poured on some certain moments of like, we're gonna go like full bore intensity here, then we're gonna bring the crowd back down, then we're gonna come up right here, and then we're gonna keep it here, bring it back down, and then on the go home of the third act, we're just gonna go. Like, I thought that's where it got interesting for me, was like that last 15 minutes, because it had me peaked, and then I was down for a lot. And then when they were doing the shots of the murders, and the phone calls, that quick montage, I was like, oh wow, we're like, it had me guessing if it was real. Probably was, but I'll have to do some research here to see if that was real. I mean, it looked real, so my interest was piqued there. I'm like, oh my god, we're getting some legit shit, and it made me question reality a little bit. I was like, great, awesome, but then it was hard to get super invested into Agent Lee, and that's not on the actress. I'm just saying that as in the character, because I think it was kind of going back to what you were saying. I don't know what I just don't know. I couldn't connect with Lee Harker there.
Just a blank slate.
Yeah. So it was. I mean, in the beginning, it was like, oh wow, dangerous situation. We with that how it was going. So I was worried for her, but then after that, it all went away. I'm like,
Yeah, I think they tried. They did a good job of, you had to imagine her upbringing was a little fucked up, right?
Definitely.
Like,
Definitely.
so I think, I don't want, that's why I debated, tread lightly with, is she on the spectrum somewhere? But when you're with a child and they're like, hey, and there's no eye contact, there's no nothing, you imagine it's like, even if you're somebody who's, dealt with, certain issues and you have past trauma and stuff like that, to just be completely like numb in those situations, or numb, I shouldn't say that, non-responsive, makes me question.
Let's kind of clarify words too. Just because they didn't say hello, right, doesn't mean they have any
but
issues.
There's a lot of interesting social things. Like even when he brings to introduce the wife, she's like, oh hi, and there was nothing. This is my daughter, nothing. So it was interesting, because even somebody, like I said, who had past trauma or an uncomfortable social situation, you think you would say hi. So I think the development, I think the actress did a great job. I'm not really familiar with her or her other works. I think she did a great job, but I didn't like the way they developed her character. And look, the whole I wasn't sure if they were, it felt like they were giving us serial killer vibes, right? Like the whole time, serial killer vibes. And then it was like, dude lived in the basement, made dolls, and then when mom brought the dolls into people's house, the doll possessed the people made them do it. So it was like, it's not really a serial killer thing.
That's kind of where I had a little bit of a problem, because I felt like we went 3/4 of the movie and anything supernatural or satanic was, if it was in there, it was sprinkled in so lightly that you had doubts as to what it was. Yeah. And then by the time you got to the end, they're like, oh, it's the devil doing it. You're kind of like, what?
Well, the thing
it
is,
kind of felt out of left field. That's what felt off for me a little bit.
There's been other films. I keep going back to True Detective season 1.
Didn't see it.
Yeah, let's not spoil it.
No spoilers. I'll just say a phenomenal show. But there have been other. There have been season 2 was season 3 I think was good. Season 1 it was whatever. But so I think when you introduce the satanic thing, right, and that people are, influenced by that, but it's still the work of the people who are influenced by those things, if that makes sense. Like
unless you're going full supernatural,
which we had here, but then there again, there's a lack of explanation, and not that there always has to be, but it was just he made the dolls, mom that delivered the dolls,
watch the deed get done.
Had to watch it get done, but the dolls told the people exactly how it had to go down, because they're like, oh, he instructs them on how to do it, and it was like, yeah. Just again, I think it had components of being a really good film, but it was just a miss.
Yeah, and like I said during the reaction too, I was trying to pay attention to Lee's mannerisms, actions.
Just keep that on there.
Nope. Just because I know there's a lot of, you could do like some deep psychological dives on this too, which I know we're not, but there's some interesting tidbits in there too with Lee's character that I would love to learn a little bit more about, just because it is fascinating to see her character do or be in certain situations socially, and then her process of trying to figure out stuff. So that, at least on that side of things, was interesting for Lee. But yeah, I couldn't connect too much with Lee or really any character.
Yeah, see that's where I kind of differ. I was really invested in Lee and Carter as well. I liked kind of the back and forth of like Carter knew that Lee has this gift, but he has to kind of be careful with how it's used or how he tries to harness it and use it. Like I said, Lee with her upbringing and everything is going to be, what it was, kind of explain her a little bit. So like I said, I liked that. My only really complaint about this movie, other than like, look, you maybe the marketing wasn't there for it, and so maybe people didn't know what they were getting, or there wasn't enough marketing, like, okay, this is what you're gonna get, a supernatural killer satanic type movie. But then again, you don't want to give that away, so it's kind of tricky, because you gotta kind of hide what it is, and if they would have gone too far, people would just say, oh, it's a Silence of the Lambs ripoff.
Marketing for these sort of thrillers is always difficult, and we've talked about it a few times. And no spoilers, because I think Diamond Dave's the only person in the world who hasn't seen Seven. And for those of you who have seen Seven, which is almost everybody, their marketing for Seven was drastically, different than the end product you got.
I don't even remember the marketing. What comes to mind recently is Wonka that we did. How they totally screwed up the marketing.
Wonka was such a phenomenal film, and the marketing was just real hokey about, oh, look, it's special effects.
By the way, you guys are questioning the marketing, right? Have you seen the marketing for this, or are you?
No, we're saying
I saw like one trailer.
He was questioning the marketing. He was saying it wasn't sure.
Just for clarification.
Yeah. Excited because it's so hard with this one, because it does have such strong resemblance to Silence of the Lambs or Seven or something like that. How do you say you're going to differentiate yourself? So I think you acknowledge you have Nicolas Cage, you make maybe some creepy stuff, and then you roll with it.
But you can't give him too much. Yeah.
No, you can't. So I'll go first. For me, this was a 3, kind of a right in the middle of the road. If you folks have watched the channel, you know that I'm not the hugest fan of the horror genre. I do like some. I love my John Carpenter stuff, the Halloweens, Thing, They Live, a bunch of stuff that I don't know if these guys have seen all of it, but that's the type of stuff that I like. Occasionally something we'll do here on the channel I'll really enjoy. So for me, this is kind of the middle of the road 3. I liked where it was going. I just thought maybe they needed to sprinkle in a little bit more of the supernatural stuff early on to get you prepared for where it's going to go, because yes, it can be fun to be shocking at the end, but you also don't want to be like, oh, come on, really? That's what it was? If that makes sense. So 3 for me.
Yeah, this is it's a 2 for me. I'm, not super into horror films.
Nice corner there.
What?
No, I'm just picking on you. Keep going.
Oh, the triangle in the corner? My man, that's Harry Potter.
I know. I 100% know that, but it's just funny how after what we just watched.
That's Harry Potter. Don't get it twisted.
Around.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah, it's a 2 for me. Horror's not my biggest genre, but there's some that I really, really love. Some we've done on the channel that I've really dug, and this just wasn't one of them for me. Again, great acting, great cinematography, components of what could have been a good film, but they just didn't put it quite together in a fashion that suited my tastes.
Yeah, again, didn't work for me, but I hope it worked for you. And actually, I would still recommend this film because I feel like it's one of those where just because it didn't work for me, again with the whole slow burn thing, I know folks do like that, and other components obviously beyond the slow burn. But I feel like there's some folks out there that probably would actually enjoy what we just saw here because of the spiritual stuff and all that other jazz that came with it. But 2 for me, just didn't work for me.
Yeah, I could totally see some folks who love the horror genre of kind of the wild, crazy stuff giving this a 5. I could
see it. Yeah, this is one of those where I'm like, hey, if you enjoyed it, great. I'm not gonna come in, guns blazing and say, oh, this, which I've done a few times. Not the best reception from the fans of the film, but didn't work for me.
You deserve a chop.
Yeah, chop. Let's get a chop for this
folks,
one.
Get on his social media and let him hear it.
I think he was ripping us during this one. Yeah, but no, I could see him liking.
Yeah, because he loves this kind of stuff. Halloween 3 is his favorite. That's like the worst one. Everybody knows that.
the witch
Season
one?
of the Witch.
Yeah.
As long as it wasn't the last one where it was. I'm getting off track.
We'll digress. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us. This is Bad Medicine. That was Long Legs. He's Diamond Dave Damone.
Hopefully
this
you
is
enjoyed
the Appleton Oak. I'm Mason Quinn. We will see you folks on the next one.